Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, MTK Global, delighted to be joined by Mr. Pat Barrett and Mr. Wayne Smith. Whose digs are we in here? Is this yours, Pat?
Is what?
Is this your room here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've just had like a couple minutes of you two firing off. This is Liverpool-Manchester dynamic, and I don't know, for a successful team, like you've got a Black Flash promotions, it don't seem like you're very close, to be honest. It seems like you're rather strangling each other.
No, we're very close. We go back a long time. I think we can have that kind of banter with each other, because if we didn't, being in this lockdown, being in this penitentiary here, it would be hard. I mean, it's just like jail all over again, this.
Tell us a little bit about your two's history, Wayne, because a lot of people will see Pat fronting things, but of course there is cogs in a machine, and it's not run by one man.
Well, to tell you the truth, me and Pat met in Atlantic City, the Wayne McCulloch Nazir Ahmed fight. I only found out I was on the undercard, so we met then. Since then we've just been like brothers. We just clicked, got married. We just clicked.
No, we didn't get married. Don't put that part in.
That's the title, nice too.
Take that part out, man.
Once it's on camera, it's happened. Well, look, you're here this week for Zelfa Barrett Fight Week. I was just listening to Eddie Hearn earlier, and he talks with such confidence. He talks with, he talks about Zelfa as if there is that belief there, because look, he's going to believe in his fighters, I get that, but when you hear him talk about Zelfa, do you feel like he genuinely believes he can take Zelfa on this journey that he wants to go?
No, I know what, I mean, what it is, I'm going to take this. You see, Zelfa had a scary fight on his first performance against Donovan. Again, I think that was Zelfa underestimating the situation and relying on something that he's got but doesn't come natural, his power. His power is all about his timing and his speed. And sometimes Zelfa can get it twisted, and he knows he's got power and he wants to be trying to take it to a different level. And it's like where this KIKO, Zelfa would try and have it out with KIKO in the centre, because he's got a big heart, Zelfa, but he's also got the massive of ability. And that's where me and Wayne come into it as trainers. We've known him from being a kid. He's grown into a man. He's got a lot of belief. He's got a lot of confidence. And I think really it's just down to what we believe. I don't want the hype of what somebody else says to him in order to try and change that dynamic of what we've been working on his game plan. It's my job now to nail that game plan and start again and say, listen, just remember now, we've been working on this game plan since we've had this fight. Yeah, and let's not change course for nothing, because sometimes what somebody says can, when I say affect him, I don't mean affect him in a bad way, but can make him, do you know what I mean, take all that credit after the fight. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it going into such a big fight, because KIKO, I'm going into this with the greatest of respect for KIKO. He's been a world champion, he's been beat at the highest of level. And a lot of people say, no, Zelfa's going to do. No, he's not. You can't predict what's going to happen in a fight. Yeah, I'm just saying we've got a game plan and a strategy. And me and Wayne know that. And, we have a way we work the corner, me and Wayne. Is, we won't say, but we have a set way. And we have to come back and stick to this plan. And that's what we have to do. We all have to work together as a team.
When you guys look at KIKO, can you take much from, his first UK performance fight, so it was 2009 against Rendell Munro. I mean, that's a long time ago, and, of course, KIKO's levels have dipped since then, but can you take a lot from the old KIKO, the one who was in with Carl Frampton, the one who was in with Scott Quigg, or are you taking it from the back end of KIKO?
No, I'm taking KIKO from the high end.
Yeah.
I'm never going to take any fighter from the back end.
Would it be a mistake to do otherwise?
It would be a big mistake, yeah. For anybody that thinks they can override a fight, listen, we're going into this fight nervous. We're going into this fight with everything to lose. We're going into this fight like we are the challengers and he's the champion. We're going into this fight like it's a dog fight. We're going into this fight 100% like, this is the biggest fight. This is our biggest fight. And we ain't taking it lightly. We don't want to take it lightly. And you're going to get a lot of people saying, oh, is this, is that. Listen, that guy, you seen how fit he looked today. You seen how conditioned he is today. Yeah. You look at George Foreman when he knocked out Michael Moore. Never underestimate a fighter by age. It's just a number.
There's always a big fight left in someone like that. So as Pat said, you can't underestimate. You got to go by his best performance. So that's we're just waiting for his best performance. We're expecting the best. Do you know what I mean? Not his last performances. Do you know what I mean?
People look at Zelfa and think there's a bit of a family affair, obviously, Pat being his uncle. But Wayne, on a fight week like this, obviously, because of how close you and Zelfa be, Pat, what's your sort of role? Do you ever feel like you have to sit back? Or do you feel like... I don't know where I'm trying to go with this actually, but you know what I mean, like, because you're not immediate family, I mean, that doesn't make a difference. Or do you feel like you play perhaps a different role?
Can I answer that for you? It is what it is. There'll be times me and Zelfa we're so close that I have to take a step back and say to Wayne, you speak to Zelfa.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes with me and Zelfa, I'm too, what's the word, I can say I'm too hard, too tough, but I don't treat him as my nephew while I train him. I treat him as a fighter. And then sometimes Zelfa needs that embracing. But I feel, to me, sometimes Wayne will go in and do the subtle approach and he'll talk to him and say, listen, you know Pat's got a lot of love for you, but you've got to understand. And then Wayne's got a way of explaining it and bringing it through to him that it's a business. And then Zelfa will suddenly come back to us and he'll understand because, you know, in this game and in this day and age now, you have to be this way. It's mentally, it's not physically. And you know, you see kids get mentally abused, you see women get mentally abused, so I have to make sure that I don't overdo it on the mental thing, and if I do, Wayne will tell me, you know what, Pat, it's time to, so I mean, sometimes I have to take a reality check of how far you can push these kids, yeah, and bear in mind, Zelf has been a kid all the time. I've had to create him into a man as a fighter. And you know, take that boyhood away because he's very boisterous. You know what I mean? He's a loving kid, and he's a great uncle. He's great with my kids. He's a family man. He's great with his mum. You know what I mean? He's absolutely what I would say on that side, a beautiful kid. Do you know what I mean? But I can't see him as a beautiful kid in the gym, not at all.
You have to take that family relationship away.
Yeah. And it's like this is where for the last 6 years. I feel me and Zelfa have not had that uncle and nephew bonding because it's like being in the army. It's been so regimental, getting ready for fights and keeping him so active and so busy as well, especially when I was putting my own shows on. It's like it just went so, all of a sudden it's gone from me taking him away for weekends, being an uncle, walking around with him when he'd been a little kid, taking him out with my 2 daughters and him and his other brother, his older brother. I used to take him away for weekends to Lake Districts and things like that. And it's like, he's seen me as an uncle, and now he's finding it hard to accept me as this kind of person. It's like, he thinks I don't respect him.
Do you think the second Zelfa finishes his boxing career, that relationship will...
Well, he already knows it's there. We've sat down many times. It's just hard to take someone, Dave, from being told what to do. It's like, I never got told like that, Brian. He spoke to me. But then at the same time, I needed telling like that, or else I would have been a world champion.
Wayne, obviously there's pressure on the Barrett name. Do you feel that?
I feel like we're family.
Yeah.
Do you mean? Zelfa calls me uncle, so, you know, I've known them for Zelfa and Lyndon for 20 years. So I watched them grow up as kids. So they are, we're not blood related, but I am their family. They'll say that, I say that. I've seen there from the first amateur fight. I've been there, I've been in the corners, right through the amateur careers, both Lyndon and Zelfa. So it's not like, it's just, we're family, you know, and as he says, when Pat, I have a little word, sometimes Zelfa get on the phone to me, oh Pat, blah, 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 so I'll still tell Pat, but, you know, it's that sort of relationship, you know, where you can get, it's a little cry out for help, where you can come to me for something different, where you might not feel comfortable at that time with Pat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Pat's just explained. So it's like, we just bounce off each other. It's one of them.
Look, I mean, their careers are nowhere near done when you look at Zelfa and Lyndon. They've got so much more they want to achieve, so much more they will achieve, and boxing's so quick, like, it feels like Zelfa against his fight camp with Eric Donovan wasn't even that long ago, and it wasn't really, but boxing rolls around so quick. Do you ever take a second to step back and look and go, look at what I've done with these 2 boys, and do you look at with immense pride and ever take a step back and go, hold on, forget that boxing's almost its own bubble. Look what we've done.
I can't step back because when it's not Zelfa and Lyndon, yeah, I've got the next generation of fighters that I'm bringing through. And people think that I can't replicate what I've done. And it's my intention, it's my job, and it's my priority to take full control and let the next young kids see what Zelfa and Lyndon's doing. And they're the first ones because they all look up to them. And let them believe that they can do exactly the same thing. I can replicate what I've done before, and I can keep doing it because I know how to. Yeah, and it's just by believing in kids and making them believe in themselves. And it's the same as Wayne. He's at Golden Gloves Gym in Liverpool, and he takes from what we do, and we've got our own promotion. So when we want to bring our own kids through, we don't have to chase it and, you know, try and build careers for them. Because without Black Flash Promotions, Zelfa and Lyndon wouldn't be where they were. I was able to give them the start, create something, invested in myself, lose a lot of money, accept it, wipe my mouth and carry on going and reap the rewards. And this is the rewards now, and it makes me so proud that these fighters have come through an organisation that what I've built and done, and look where they are now. So why can't we replicate the same thing? Wayne learns from it, gets from it, now he's got the promotion to use it for his own fighters, and he can now do the same thing and go through a choice of wherever he wants with his own fighters.
How much do you both feed off positivity? I mean, the positivity surrounding, especially Lyndon after that performance against Anthony, it's like his stock hasn't just increased tenfold, it's increased 100-fold. Did you feed off that positivity at all? Or do you sort of have to block out what everyone else thinks? You know, fuck what everyone else thinks, we're still doing our own thing.
Do you know what? I just feel that it's not about me, it's about them. And I just carry on doing what I got to do and let them enjoy and embrace the moment. The glorified, the credit goes to all them kids. Yeah, I've helped set the plan, but they've helped achieve that plan. Like, okay, I might have said, got the idea, but they're the one who's creating what's expected from them. And it's all right because I've done that with a lot of fighters, and they find it very hard to go the extra mile. They can't do it, and that's what they say, they can't. They can't take the pain barrier where them kids want to do it, and they've gone through that pain barrier, and they've gone through a life of hurt, pain, destruction, things being taken away from them, like the brothers, and being able to focus and be where they are. They deserve it. They are what I call a credit to boxing, a credit to any kids growing up and watching them. They're just a credit to anything when you know their story of life. You can watch them, you don't know where they're coming from, and you're watching where they're at now. But if you can look back from these kids and go back into their life and see where they come from, I think everybody would respect them 20 times, million times more now than you are watching them at the high end.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. That's fact.
Do you feel like, and I'll ask this to you, Wayne, specifically actually, do you feel like, I mean, both of you would have seen kids who've been through what you call the run of the mill, had tough periods in their life and used boxing as an escape and gone on to achieve, and I suppose that makes things even sweeter when they get the honey, as they say. But yeah, do you feel like they need to go through those trials and tribulations in life to have a certain inner power to achieve these sort of things? You know, can you go from silver spoon fed to go on to achieve with the same intensity what Lyndon and Zelfa have?
I wouldn't never say they've been silver spoon fed.
No, but can kids who have been go on to achieve what Lyndon and Zelfa have, having been through the sort of things they've been through?
Well, there's always obstacles put in front of you in life, innit? Life, you don't know what gets through at you, you've just gotta get over them. Depends on the individual itself. Do you know, if you're like that, want to pack in straight away, you want to give up, if you got that, nah, anything's possible in boxing, that's the old saying, but like, you've got to have that never give up, and you got to be the team. Them two have been through pain, as Pat said, so getting in the boxing ring is a minor to what they've been through. When you lose your brothers, it's like, you know, you can't take nothing worse, could you? You know, if none of you got brothers or sisters, you lose a family member in the way that they've lost them, you know, and to come and to do what they do now is like, it just makes the family proud, it makes everyone proud, and obviously they've got that determination in them to do what they do, you know. So like, it's like different people can do different things, and it's like how you handle what gets through at you in life, you know, because everybody's got a story, everybody, you know, innit?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Just going back to that, what you said though. You said, I think the difference is, if you got a kid that's coming from a good background, yeah, and then you say, does he have to do boxing? What's his choice? Of course he can. He can still do it because he loves it. Yeah, I mean, it don't necessarily mean your background makes you a better fighter because you've come from a terrible background and you've lost everything in life or things like that. It don't make you more of a savage than a person that's come from that's great. If you come from a good background and your mum and dad support you, that's also a good driven thing anyway, because you've got people that are believing in you. Your mum and dad are believing in you, that they're not letting you, don't have to work so you can live here, because we believe that your boxing career is because you're going to make it. And they're not taking nothing of you, because once they've been so proud of you to see you've achieved what you're going to do. There is fighters out there that not had, what you could say, when you say that silver spoon, I don't class it as a silver spoon because their mum and dads have had to work to be where they are to support their kids. So nobody's born with a silver spoon. It's just a replacement. Like, I wouldn't let Zelfa go through the life that I went through. So I'm going to give him everything, like building this promotion and losing money and investing in these two kids. It's not just these two kids that I invest in. It's every kid that come through. It's just that these two kids have stuck to it and wanted it more than everybody else. The same coming from a kid with a mum and dad where they live in a nice house. It don't care where you come from. It's what your passion's at and where your own self-drive and people that believe in you, that make you the person who you are. You can be a parent and say, you're going to end up with nothing. Look at you, you're lazy this, you're this and that. And you keep drumming that into their heads. The next thing you know, they're just on the estate. They've gone from being good kids from family background to not want to hang out with the yobs because it's what the parents have installed in their head. Do you know what I mean? Or you can have people that just let them be. Just as long as you believe in them and you trust in them, that's what creates a good kid.
Well, it's 10 o'clock at night on the Friday, obviously fight night's tomorrow night. Talk to me about what the next, Zelfa will likely be in the ring in 22 hours or so. Wayne, talk to me about what the next 22 hours entails for you two, because the hard work's done in the gym, you've got your game plan, it's about instilling it. What's the next 22 hours like for Team Zelfa?
Just another day at the office, innit? Leave it to Pat. He's the boss, you know.
No, another day at the office.
Nah, we do.
No, listen.
We just chill now, don't we?
Yeah,
Really, we can't do nothing now until tomorrow night. You know, I mean, look, I'll talk to Wayne about how City destroyed Liverpool. You know what I mean? And it was something like 4-0, something. I mean, absolutely took them apart. I mean, and Wayne's got nothing more to say. He's on the ropes and he can't throw back really because it actually happened.
10 o'clock at night.
So we can round it with that, you know.
No, at the end of the day, like you just said before, we ain't really had time to have a rest. We've been up to the 5 of these shows in the last 6 months. So, you know, we've been busy, which is a good thing. You know, where certain other coaches or teams haven't even had a fight. You know, so hopefully things will get back to normal. But it's just it's like fight day. Once Zelfa gets in the zone, then it's on, then, innit? You know, it's like...
Is he a grouchy one on fight day? Because obviously he is making weight. Is he a grouchy one on fight day? Grouchy one around fight time?
Nah, because this weekend he's been a funny guy, really.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's been a bit of a
he's
comedian. He's
growing into himself.
You
see the change in him all the time.
It's sometimes, you know, who isn't grouchy when you can't eat, really? As they say, a hungry man is a hungry man.
Yeah.
So, you know, but no, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's been good.
Well, he's obviously maturing. I mean, he's got a daughter his daughter was born 6 or so weeks ago. So you must be noticing like a maturing side in Zelfa outside of the ring as well, which I suppose must help him inside the ring. Does he take the fact that he's maturing outside the ring into the ring, or do you separate them two things?
When he goes to boxing, he's focused on what he's doing. He becomes very focused, very dedicated, very disciplined, and switches off to anything else apart from what he's got to do. And he can do that because what he's got to do is going to be for his daughter's future anyway. And now he's got a little girl. Yeah, he's doing all this for his little girl now because, you know, before it's like, now he knows he's got to build a future. It's not just about him. So yeah, he's got to be mature about it and take it very seriously and get out of his game with as much as he can possibly get.
Right, Mr. Lyndon Arthur. Like I said, he's become a bit mainstream. Is he a bit of a superstar now, Lyndon? I mean, the backlash after Anthony-Yard fight, a lot of it was perhaps aimed at Anthony and team, Tunde and team. But I think people now are starting to give Lyndon the credit he deserves. And I suppose he must have been lapping it up in the last month. Why would you not? It's a great performance.
Well, it's just cool, isn't he? No, it's a great performance.
You just swag it off.
It was a great performance. Yeah. It's just Lyndon's character in it. But what can you say? He just proved everyone wrong, didn't he? We knew fact what he was going to do.
Did you know exactly how it would play out as well?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I had a few quid on it.
Would you? I mean, you've already gone through with Coogan sort of the backlash towards Yard and team, but I suppose it's distant memory now. You're forgetting about that.
Do you know what?
Is that even relevant?
To me, that's forgotten about.
Yeah.
As far as that, we're going to talk about. I'm never going to mention what you just said before. It's just purely about Lyndon, and as far as I'm concerned, Lyndon's had his operation. It's good to go around about April, and it's just to carry this journey on, pick up from where he's left off really, and you can start really being able to see the real good Lyndon now, because a lot of the best of Lyndon was missed out when he fought on all my shows. I mean, he had about 7, 8, 9 fights on my shows, and the best, his up and coming fights, it was brilliant, and no one's ever seen that. Then you've gone from lower class to the higher class. Then he's had let me get used to fighting on TV now. It's like everybody's watching me now. So now you've got something else to kind of adjust to. Then you've got to learn boxing a different way, function mentally. And, you can watch the Emmanuel fight. You see the different Lyndon doing his first time 12-rounder, tough fight. Then you go back to watching the Spellman fight, and then you're watching another Lyndon, differently defensive, boxing well, thinking, very good, getting the maturity of 12 rounds. Then you see another Lyndon, without mentioning no names, have an excellent performance, and then now he's had a little bit of a break, a little bit of an injury, had an operation, come back, and then now you're going to start seeing the mature Lyndon now settling down into what he's been anxiously waiting for, what he's created, winning titles, boxing at the high level, and showing people what he's really about.
So as much as he is going to have to step up levels again when he wants to challenge for world titles in the future, the little building blocks you're saying are essentially done. He's pretty much been through the majority of what he'd have to go through as a boxer.
That's what
outside of the ring, the pressures, the mental things.
He's learnt the game. This is what he was doing all the time. He was learning the game. What you got to realise, Lyndon was kind of in the shadow of like Zelfa kind of thing. Yeah, and I don't mean it in a thingy way, but it was like the only person that recognised Lyndon, how brilliant he was going to be and how talented he is, was me and Wayne. And he started showcasing properly on TV because I think he only ever had about, at the time, I think he'd only ever had, forget about the free TV fights, what we've seen him in with Emmanuel, Spellman and the other guy. Yeah. He's never really had no showcase on TV. Whereas Zelfa, on the other hand, was on Sky Sports with Eddie Earn, I think on Earn's show twice, on BoxNation, several times. And Lyndon wasn't really there. Now, you think about that, it's very hard to come on TV and having cameras on you and thinking and overthinking and controlling them thoughts. It's not, people think, getting on TV, but it's not. It's just all about your performance. You've got to be, if TV don't like you, they don't want to see you. If you're not exciting, people want to boo you. So you've got all that to think about. But what Lyndon's done, he's created his own style. He's found himself, and he's done. Well, if you watched him in the Emmanuel fight, you would have said he would have got beaten that last fight. If you watched him in the Spellman fight, you would have said he would have got beaten that fight. But what you're not watching is what Lyndon's doing different in each fight. That's what nobody's not watching. Yeah. He learned to do 12 rounds. That was his first 12 rounder on TV. So he didn't just have the 12 round. He also had the thought of having to do 12 rounds and fighting someone. And he was a tough kid, that Emmanuel. Let anybody else get that Emmanuel.
Very tough.
Yeah. I'm telling you this now. Let anybody else, Jordan. When I watched him, he had a nice, poised style about him. He was kind of loose. And Lyndon did a remarkable job.
Also, people forget, Lyndon had a great amateur career. You know, he was at GB, 2 ABA finals, WSB. You know, he boxed Guatsi in one final. So people don't even know that, and he picked up all our amateur experience at highest level. And then, as I say, got built up on the show. So we knew, as Pat said, we knew what Lyndon was about. Do you know what I mean? People just, Lyndon Halfways, he's just come from planet Mars straight away. You know, but he's just been building. That's what the good thing about the small hall shows, of building fighters like Lyndon's is a prime example.
You might have a lot of people who may not have been a fan of Lyndon before simply because they hadn't come across him really, or they hadn't seen much of him. You'll have people now cheerleading for Lyndon. You will have a larger chunk of people who are like, I'm following the career of Lyndon Arthur. You'll have people who perhaps want to even get close to the team and close to Lyndon. Are you quite reluctant now because of what you've built to let perhaps cheerleaders, and I'll call them, into a circle? It seems like you've got quite a tight-knit, solid circle. Are you reluctant to let certain people in? Because you are going to have, you know, Lyndon's hitting stardom now, so do you see where I'm coming from?
No, like I said, we don't need to have anything else because we've got what we want. People, look, a long time ago, a lot of people doubted everything that we was going to do. Say, oh, these are not going to do this, oh, you won't do that. It's all negativity, but you know what I did? We soldiered on, and we did it, yeah. Oh, you're wasting money on that, Zelfa Lyndon. You're gonna leave yourself. I don't care. Let me be the one to live by my own mistakes. And I'm so glad that I never listened to anybody else and carried on promoting. Yeah, I mean, it's been it's nearly 7 years now I've been doing it. And to have them two through it, and I had other fighters and I had other champions that, you know, Central Area champions, English champions, that have also come through this. And to be where we're at now and to be here talking to you now, I feel about the story of these two, the journey of these kids, it's remarkable. And like I said, I mean, if you can research into these kids, you'd be like, how have they done that, Pat? Because you know what it is? Because of me and Wayne, we've been able, because of our own past experience in life, we've been able to talk to them, and they've been, because we don't talk hype and we don't talk myth, it's reality of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so interesting to sort of understand the mentality that you two have got, because, you know, like you said, people can research the story of Zelfa, research the story of Lyndon, but to see it from your two guys' side is it is fantastic. But quick bit on the boxing, obviously, you know what it's like now. Everyone calls Lyndon out. Every light heavyweight in the world, pretty much, that isn't got a world title belt is called Lyndon out. Any news, anything that Lyndon seems to be taking seriously, or is he just letting people call him out and we'll see what happens come April time when he's ready?
No, what it is, right? Just whatever happens. Along the way, yeah, we've got our own plans and we're going to stick with what we've got, okay? We've sat down, we've talked about Lyndon's future, we've got a direction what we're going in, and we're going to stick to that direction. If anything changes along the way, then that's okay, but right about now, we've got a map, we've got a direction, we know which way we're going in, and nobody was calling him out before until he won this fight, so why should we need to respond to people now? Let's just let the guy enjoy the moment, make as much money as he can, and we just don't bow to anybody.
Just finally, Wayne, I want to ask you, what do you think's in this for you at the end? I mean, at some point, and you as well, actually, at some point you're going to give boxing the shoulder and you're going to say, look, that's me, I'm done, this is my journey done, I've bought through these fighters, I feel like I've achieved what I needed to achieve. What would you say sort of the end goal is for you two, or is there a end goal? Do you do this until the day you can't?
This is just a start.
Yeah.
As I say, we've got in Manchester, there's a full house of prospects. In Golden Gloves, Liverpool, full house of prospects, which are all going to come through. So this is a starting block, building blocks for the future. I've got a lot of kids now look at Lyndon, Zelfa, Marcel, Braithwaite, they all go, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So it's just the start of bigger and better things to come. Do you know what I mean? Just being lucky enough that, like, we started with me and Pat and Zelfa and Lyndon.
Well, it's quite nice for me as well. Like you said, you can sit here and talk to us, and you know, we're just a YouTube channel, but I was actually looking yesterday, just out of interest before I thought speaking to you guys and seeing the young Zelfa and young Lyndon, and I suppose in themselves you can see the progression, and the fact that we've seemed to have got some of it on camera and I can sit here and talk to you guys as well now is it's brilliant. Really good.
I think YouTube channels now is the way through for the young kids and for the next generation of fighters, and you know what I mean.
Is it self-promotion? It's self-promotion.
Yeah. I mean we've just set one up now myself, Black Flash Boxing Channel, and not for anything else, but it's all in house, not to do what you do and what everybody else do. It's just so it's like a conveyor belt. So BBTV used to help us a lot before bringing the fighters through. But I think if we've got something attached to the promotion, we can do the live stream when the shows start coming back out, and then they can build up their own fan base. Because once I said I can recycle what we've done before between me and Wayne in Liverpool and Manchester, I mean, and I really do believe that we can, and build a solid foundation for fighters and a good platform for fighters to come across and jump off at the top. I mean, since the Lyndon win and, you know, everything goes well tomorrow, the Zelfa win tomorrow, I mean, it's like the platform is just so solid, and I don't want to go looking for fighters, because in my gym I have enough fighters. What that does create is a lot of kids to believe in their dream, because they've seen it happen. They've seen Lyndon from they was little and Zelfa, and they've gone, oh my God, they really have done it. They're on TV. So it's easy for them to say a little bit of discipline, a little bit of in fact, they just ask me, what do I need to do? And I'll just say, listen, discipline, dedication, work hard, keep believing, and you'll achieve what these guys are achieving. And they'll be like, right, is that all we have to do? Because they work hard anyway. What's the other missing? Believe. Keep believing. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. No matter what. Even if you have a rubbish day, you don't look great in the gym, it doesn't make it the end.
I can see you two retiring on the top, just like sitting there on the beach, legs crossed, sun beaming down in something like the Grand Cayman, just like cheersing. Cheers in a little rum punch together. We're going happy days.
I don't think we can retire, really. I don't think retirement is even going to come into our vocabulary. I mean, you know, from however I can coach, I'll be coaching to the end, because it is my life and it's my legacy, and it keeps my brain ticking over. Yeah. What retirement is? What, just sitting on the beach drinking a pina colada in a nice place? And it's like,
it's nice for 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. But you know, I couldn't live that life, because your brain would just shut down. My brain is doing good when I'm giving kids an opportunity and a platform, and that's what I enjoy. I go away and I think of something else, and me and Wayne are on the phone like, yeah, we've got this, and yeah, we're going to do this show, and yeah, we can do this, and we want to be the biggest but smallest organisation. We want to be the best. We want fighters to come through what we've got and then get off, and then just keep recycling and keep reproducing. We don't want to say, oh well, let's get that venue there and put a world title. Nah, that's not us. Not at all. We want to be the small ones, but we want to be recognised and well respected for what we do, as we are doing now.
Well, I heard, as soon as I come in the room, the first thing I heard was something to do with I've got an idea. So even if it is just bouncing ideas off each other, you're still trying, you're still growing. And look, like I said, it's brilliant to be able to talk to you two about the journey so far and where it can go. And you know, God willing, Zelfa does the business tomorrow night. We keep another Brit thriving in the scene, and yeah, cheers, boys.
Nice one.
Little plug at the end for your YouTube channel as well. We'll drop it in the description and the Black Flash socials as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to say what they are, I think yours is just Black Flash Promotions on Instagram.
Yeah, well, we've got it here now, your Black Flash Boxing Channel, and the first show's coming out next week, introducing it, and you know, like I said, it's not about me. It's about the journeys, what I've started and what we're going to bring through, and keeping the legacy going on of Collier Mostyn, of the great Brian Hughes, you know what I mean? So that's what we're doing. The gym is a legacy, and I'm teaching that legacy. I'm going to keep producing and producing between me and Wayne, Liverpool and Manchester. Very unusual combination. It was unheard of years ago, Liverpool and Manchester, but again, we brought something together what nobody could ever possibly do, Liverpool and Manchester.
Just quickly, when you say it was unheard of, because obviously I know the football rivalry, I'm a big football fan, but genuinely, like, when you say it was unheard of, there was genuine, not hatred, but you wouldn't have people from Liverpool, Manchester coming together to try and work on something.
I don't think it's ever been really rivalry like that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I've always been going down to Liverpool for years, but then when it comes to the football, I definitely know it's rivalry.
It's football.
Definitely rivalry. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. But it's the same now. I mean, I'm a Manchester City supporter, and he's a Liverpool supporter. Do you know what I mean? And the only time we have the banter is just when they're playing it to the.
You two must have had a great last 5 years.
Oh
Yeah,
mate, especially when Liverpool beat City, I just did non-stop phone calls, bro. I'm on about when you beat us, not when we beat you.
Don't worry about it. We won the league.
You know what I
We're
mean?
the league champions now.
Yeah, I know, but
It's still us.
The rain on top was short like leprechauns, mate. You know what I
Easy
mean?
league not finished yet, bro.
Yeah, today gone tomorrow, kind of thing. So you know, I better be careful what I say because I'm going down Liverpool. You know what? Yeah. Coogan, this one's for you. I noticed that you weren't here today, you little shitbag. Yeah, you sent somebody else. You knew you was going to get knocked out today. So whatever you do not come Manchester. When you do what you do. Sneak in and sneak out. Be safe.